Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to BSV TV. I'm your host Satoshi, and on this show we'll be defending the one and only, truly genuine Bitcoin. The Bitcoin that Satoshi Nakamoto designed in his white paper as a peer-to-peer electronic cash system for the world. Let's get the disclaimers out of the way. So all the statements that you hear on this show are opinion and must only ever be taken as opinion. They are never to be taken as any form of advice, family, financial, sexual or otherwise. And on that note, let's sit back, relax, have some fun and enjoy the show. Get paid for your content in Bitcoin and set your own fee on Streamanity.
Yeah, I'm not surprised I wasn't asked why I'm convinced Craig is Satoshi. I posted on Reddit. He signed in my presence using the private key from block number one, the very first mined Bitcoin block. On a computer that I'm convinced had not been tampered with, on software I'm convinced that had not been tampered with, a message of my choosing.
At InChain, we've just funded a number of universities doing, so far, a test up to 1 gigabyte because it validates what we've already done independently. We've tested up to 380 gigabyte blocks. We've tested 1 million transactions a second and transaction sizes up to 20 megabytes. Super complex scripts. Basically ones that can run operating systems. That's all of global commerce times about 50. On top of that, we can have complex scripts. On top of that, we can scale each of those transactions 1,000 times, which effectively means about 1 billion transactions per second, which means we can then have all derivatives, all complex trades. That means high frequency trading. It means everything that happens globally.
Is the market that effectively BSV is going for, is that global e-commerce, which is currently valued at $29 trillion?
No, that's too small.
Buy and sell Bitcoin instantly at bsvgravity.com. And good afternoon, everybody. I was a bit quick off the draw then. But it's just because I'm eager to get cracking. Let's just do this. Got quite a few figures I want to get through today and some good, interesting videos we want to get through. Right, so for anybody, any newbies who are watching my show for the first time, we broadcast on Twitch because YouTube have taken down 2 of my channels already. Then they were preventing me from editing my shows. Then they were deleting episodes. And I thought, you know what? This is everything that is wrong with big tech. This is absolutely ridiculous. So now we sort of like try and use as many platforms as we can. We broadcast live on Twitch, live at 5 every day from wherever I am in the world. I want to give as many people as I can the opportunity to catch my show for free, because we upload the trailer onto YouTube and then upload the full episode onto Streamanity, where you can set your own fee according to how you judge the quality. All right, let's crack into it. Just like these little intros that I've got here, check it out. It's my new image. So we're just going to let some other people explain what Bitcoin is quickly. So I'm going to sort of keep these videos relatively short, you know, because yeah, there's always such a lot of information to get through, really. So first of all, here he is. We're just going to listen to Michael Saylor getting all excited about Bitcoin and telling us how good it is. Here we go.
I like Bitcoin the way it is. In fact, I love Bitcoin the way it is. And the way it's currently constructed, it is possible to put all $250 trillion of monetary energy in big blocks of encrypted energy on the blockchain. Maybe the Bitcoin will be 1 million. You can probably calculate $10 million of Bitcoin or something. Big blocks. $100 million chunks on the blockchain. It'll store all the monetary energy in the world, and it should store it for the next 100 years without losing any of it.
There we go. So that's Michael Saylor getting all excited. And in actual fact, this show today is actually going to be about size, because I think a lot of people have trouble comprehending just how gargantuan and how big the potential that this network has got and will potentially be, and the size that Satoshi Nakamoto had in mind. You know, it's absolutely massive. And one of the reasons I want to try and, you know, maybe illustrate this for people is because if you are not aware of how big this thing is going to be, you can be caught unawares. Like literally, I estimate that, you know, Bitcoin will be about $40 million each in probably about 10 years. Like just absolutely huge. And to be honest with you, that's conservative. So if you are not prepared for this, if you don't understand how it's going to happen, positive cortisol will flood your brain, turn you into an inconsiderate prick. Nobody will like you. You'll lose all your friends. You'll become depressed, and you'll really hate having loads of money. Because it'll just turn you into a lazy sod. You know, the way you become happy is by activating your, you know, stimulating your hippocampus, and it's cortisol that actually blocks it from functioning. You know, so a lot of people that win the lottery become depressed because they now no longer have to, you know, juggle plates and worry about bills and all that. But because they don't have anything to worry about, yeah, they don't have anything to think about, and it switches the brains off. And after a while, you just end up sitting at home getting takeaways in with no friends because no one likes you, and life can go down the pan like really quickly. So you have to be prepared for this. You know, and so if you know how big it's going to be in advance, it's called it's preempting the negative, and sort of managing expectations. So like I need your expectations to be literally through the roof. In fact, through the universe, to be honest with you. It's going to be so big. But talking about big, we're just going to go to the opposite end of the spectrum and talk about how shit and small some other things are. So if money, especially a commodity money, has a central point of authority or control, it is fundamentally worthless. But if something doesn't have a central point of authority or control, it means it can be manipulated, you know, and debased by other people who do want to F it up. And this is what has happened to BTC. So, you know, this again, Michael Saylor doesn't understand what caused all the animosity between all the parties. But it's because Blockstream segregated the signatures, and it's the signatures that hold all the users of the network to account. So they've basically fundamentally crashed the fundamental value to zero, and these shitcoiners with shit for brains don't have a clue how or why. But let me just let Samson Mao, who is the chief strategy officer of Blockstream, explain it himself. Here we go. Take it away, Samson.
Bitcoin was created by the central bankers that enslave you today. It is their scapegoat.
How do you answer those, Max and Stacey?
I think the evidence is clear that they do not control it. There's 10 years, almost 11 years now of track record.
Yeah, Blockstream controls it.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Who does?
Blockstream.
There we go. Thank you very much, Samson. You've just done my job for me and admitted that BTC has got a fundamental value of zero because it's no longer Bitcoin. It didn't start off being controlled by Blockstream. So why does he think it's controlled by Blockstream now? It's because they have changed it and not told anybody, which is why I'm telling people, because people need to know, because they're gonna get wrecked. Also, anyway, after the chain continued as Bitcoin, another group of developers, douchebag developers, thought they would do exactly the same thing, led by Roger Ver and his crony mates, and they crashed the fundamental value of their shitcoin to absolute zero as well. And if you don't believe me, we're just going to have a listen to Roger Ver getting really excited about how his chain is fundamentally worthless, because if something is anonymous, there is no one holding the anonymous creator to account. That's the whole point. So, Roger, can you explain that for us? Here we go.
I have a question here from Satoshi, defender of Bitcoin. He said, if a cryptocurrency is anonymous, like BCH, I don't think BCH is anonymous, but maybe there is something.
Check out cashfusion.com and you combine that with reusable payment codes, and you get Bitcoin Cash in the same sort of ballpark of privacy as Monero. It's really awesome. So you can check out Cashfusion. And I always get it wrong. I think it's .com, but it might be .org. So you can check both. Cashfusion.com.
Thank you, Roger, for just letting me know that your Bcrash coin is an absolute piece of shit. And if you wonder why I call it Bcrash, it's because Roger calls it that himself. Have a listen to this.
Crash across the entire country here in Antigua. Card. and we're going to really spread Bitcoin Crash across the entire country here in Antigua.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. And again, you know, we need to have a look at this this shitcoin market, because this is what shitcoiners just really don't understand. I'll just find this, you know, the picture I'm looking for. There we go, my lovely coin crap market. Right, so you'll notice all of these are securities, which is why they're called shitcoins, because they all have a you know, a central point of authority and control. The only one that doesn't is Litecoin. And even though it pains me to say this, because Charlie Lee exit scammed the shit out of it, because he created it and therefore he knew it was a bag of shit, so he couldn't wait to just cash out into dirty dollar and filthy fiat. And if you don't believe me, let's have a listen to Charlie Lee's expectations of his own creation. Here we go.
You created Litecoin, right? So this has to be something like you're incredibly passionate about.
Yeah, as most of you probably know, I kind of created it just for fun, right? Didn't really expect it to become anything.
No, I didn't know that, Charlie, but I do now. Could have done with knowing that before, you know, all the investors and everyone else bought it and it developed a market cap of $9 billion. So let's compare that to Satoshi Nakamoto's expectations of his creation of Bitcoin. Here we go.
At the end of the day, we own a lot of Bitcoin. The simple thing is, if we make the network scale, we make it bigger, my main compensation, more than anything anyone could ever pay me, is the price of Bitcoin goes up. So that's my pure drive. I want Bitcoin not to go up to 10,000 or 100,000. I want it to be worth millions per Bitcoin. That's it. And that's what we spend money for. Very simple.
That's what they spend the money for. Very simple. And let's just remind ourselves, what is it that shitcoiners say?
Hey, hey,
hey. Hey, hey,
hey. There we go, peeps. Right, let's just crack on with these figures quickly. I've not seen these today. Here we go. Check out the old coin darts. Love it. Oh, price dip. Price dip. Oh, is that right? 175 according to Preve, top left of the screen there. I'm looking at it. Nice, that'll do me. Hopefully come down a little bit further. Could do with that. Got some money coming in, you see. That's why. Right, just waiting for my computer to load here. Come on, coin dance. No pressure. Only a live show. Only got people waiting. Come on. Yes, finally. Oh, right. Bit of a difference in price here. What's that? 180 to 175. Something's not quite right there, is it? Let's have a quick look on the old shitcoin market. What is it? Oh, 100. Right, so we've got 175, 178, and 180. Again, I'm not bothered with these shitcoins. Really not interested in those, but we'll have a look at the hash rate. So Bitcoin 0.2%, network 3% of the network nodes. Ooh. Ooh. I think that's the highest I've seen it. It's usually around sort of 2.3. 3% network nodes. Nice. Okay. Right. More coming over then. Looks like they might have taken them from Coolcoin potentially. Transactions 30.2 and block size smashing it 43.7. That's all right. All right. Let's play. Spot the biggest block on Bcrash. Oh, they've got a 2.7 megabyte block. Oh, they've got a 5.5. Congratulations to them, because they're an absolute bag of shit. So that's really impressive for them. And Michael Saylor, if you're watching my show, you ain't getting big blocks on your chain, matey. Because they don't want them. Because their paymasters don't want them. So let's see what you got in here. You got 1.5. Oh, is there a 1.5? Just going to run my my cursor up there. I can see 1.4. 1.6. Well, Michael, that might be the best you're going to get, and it is. But compare that to Bitcoin. Let's have a look, see what's going on here. Look, 8.7, 8.1, 5.7, 2.7. You know, and the scaling test network mined a 3.1 gigabyte block. just yesterday. You know, absolutely hilarious. I mean, these shitcoiners don't have a clue because they don't look at figures like this because they can't figure them out, like literally. Quick rundown through these graphs again. Hash rate follows price, which follows value, which follows utility. Because when it has utility, it can then develop a value. It can then generate a price, which can then be measured against other goods and services. And it can be used as a medium of exchange, which is the idea. Proof of work by network. Again, CoolCoin Bcrash will stop literally overnight very soon. Bcrash Bitcoin hash rate. Bcrash Bitcoin proof of work. Look at this. 60,000 times cheaper to transact on Bitcoin, other than in comparison to the biggest shitcoin out there. But it is 7.5% more profitable to mine on CoolCoin because shitcoiners be loving that shit. Daily average Bitcoin block size by network. Oh, CoolCoin just winning the block size. Transactions by network, CoolCoin winning. Transactions per block, CoolCoin winning. Oh. Fees USD, that's more like it. Bitcoin smashing it. Fees Satoshis, Bitcoin smashing it. Block reward ratio, again, time, value, utility. Blockchain growth by network, absolutely hilarious. A little bit of a slight little uptick there if you look closely at Bcrash, absolutely hilarious. Right, the hash rate, this is where the politics lie. Not the fundamentals, just the politics. So over 7 days, again, the three Mac daddies at the top. F2 pool, pooling, BTC.com, followed by Binance and Apple. Global hash rate, 24 hours. Looks similar to 7 days. Tal. Whoa. Tal have massively increased their hash rate. That's normally like 0.0 something, like 0.02. Look at that. 0.1. That's a huge increase. Looking forward to seeing that when we get down the bottom, right? And this is CoolCoin. So again, no Tal on there whatsoever. Wow. Bcrash, absolutely hilarious. A total shitcoin. Hathor on there out of sheer spite. Just making it more competitive so that it's less profitable for the other shitcoin enterprises to mine on. What's going on here? Is this a conspiracy? Come on. This is the one we... Whoa. Wow. So, I mean, Tal actually increased their hash rate, but Huobi still macking it. Still macking it. Via BTC, just again spreading their bets. Norpool, Mempool, good to see them increasing. 8.3. And then we got the big boys on there. We've got BTC.com and pooling. So we're missing F2 pool. Never mind. They can do one. But, right, okay. Keep your eyes peeled, people. So let's have a look at the blockchain working in front of our very eyes. Now, I'm just going to try and explain this to people here. So on this graph, we can see we've got average transactions per second, or transactions per second, in the top right-hand corner. Now, the transactions are broadcast by the network. Now, as soon as more than 50% of the nodes on the network pick up this transaction, that transaction is confirmed. This is why we call it like zero confs. So once 50% of the nodes recognize that transaction is not going to change. The nodes have recognized it. They have then put it in the meme pool. Now, all these shitcoiners will tell you that, oh, you need like a certain number of confirmations, you know, before it goes in the block and blah, 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 blah. You do not. Once 50% of the nodes recognize that transaction instantly, which they will do in a split second, that transaction exists, and all we are doing then is just simply waiting for it to be stored. But the fact is, it is not reversible once 50% of the nodes have picked it up. It's just simply not on the blockchain. But you cannot change that transaction. This is the whole point of zero conf. It was Blockstream's bullshit idea of, oh yeah, what we need is we need replaced by fee. So if somebody doesn't pay a large enough fee for that transaction, we will reject it from the block, and we'll put someone else's transaction in front of yours. And it's this delay that allows for double spends. It's absolute bullshit. I cannot stress how bullshit that replaced by fee system is. Like, honestly, 50% of those recognize it, boom, confirmed. Zero confirmations or instant confirmation, because that transaction is not going to be reversed. It's not going to be duplicated. There is no wasting time. There is no, it's not sitting anywhere waiting for another transaction to replace it. It is there immediately, and then once it's recognized by the nodes on the network, it's thrown into the meme pool where miners then compete to process that transaction and just put it on the blockchain, because the blockchain is all about data storage. You only need your transaction to be confirmed once, like literally instant confirmation, which is why it's a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. Bitcoin is your bridge to the blockchain. You make the transaction. Then once that transaction has done, it is confirmed. You just simply have to wait a few minutes for it to be stored on the blockchain. But that's stored. You can still access that transaction. The transaction still exists, whether it's in the meme pool, or on the blockchain. It's a transaction with its own transaction ID. And then the reason blocks take about approximately 10 minutes to propagate is because they need all of these transactions confirmed instantly. If you were to just simply put every single transaction that was broadcast, on, or try and put it all in the chain, there would be a massive backlog of transactions, and the meme pool would just simply fill up, and the data storage would be extremely inefficient. So what you do is you use an uncapped block size, and you have all of these instant transactions filling up this block. And then after 10 minutes, all of those transactions are just simply processed and boom, put straight on the blockchain, because it saves a queue forming. That's the whole point of having a massive block size. All the transactions go into that block instantly, and then literally, once they're there, that's it. They're still accessible. Like I've said before, you're then just simply waiting for them to be stored on the blockchain. But whether, it doesn't really matter. They're still in the meme pool. The transaction exists. It doesn't matter if it's on the blockchain or not, because it's going to end up on the blockchain. It's like once the nodes have recognized that transaction, you cannot reverse it. That's the start of the conveyor belt. That's all it is. The transaction can no longer be changed or erased or deleted. That is it. That's how you make a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. That's what it's all about. So you can see all these various transaction generators here in the meme pool, and then the miners compete for it to put them all in a block, win the block, put the block on the blockchain, and get the block reward of currently 6.25 BTC. Look at this. Look at all these juicy blocks. Look at that. I mean, honestly, it just makes BTC an absolute laughingstock. But that's what BTC is. If you have a fundamental understanding of Bitcoin, BTC is an absolute joke, which is why Corecoin and Blockstream can only take advantage of shit coiners with shit for brains who believe the bullshit that they feed them. Honestly, but this is, unfortunately, that's the majority of the population. And when you see the market cap of BSV, it's a reflection of the intellect in society. Unfortunately, but I suppose in a way you can look at it and say, well, I'm an intelligent, so therefore all I'm going to do is just simply take advantage of the situation. I'm just simply going to buy myself a shitload more Bitcoin, so that when this system is actually fully functioning and corporations literally come piling in, I've simply got in there before them, which enables me to become wealthier, and it's my intellect that has allowed me to do that. I never really thought that I'd refer to myself as like an intellectual, but I've never come across such dumbness. Like such stupidity. Like in my life, I never knew that this level of stupidity existed. You know, not until I listened to like Peter McCormack and stuff like that. Like absolutely hilarious. You know, like he goes, oh yeah, Craig presented a crazy amount of evidence that he was Satoshi Nakamoto, but I'm still going to go and buy. I'm still going to spend $46,000 on 2.5 BTC. Honestly, like you couldn't write this unless you'd see it. You're just like, oh my god, are you serious? You know, like, it's absolutely hilarious. But I mean, to be honest with you, the reason I can laugh at it is because I know that there is. Yeah, I've met I communicate with people in BSV. Like, I can see all you guys in the chat box. Shout out to Neezy from Chicago, JP from Canada, TD Verge, Connor G in there, Diddy Weldon, taking time out from doing her masters, and I hope your dad had enjoyed his 70th birthday the other day. Yeah, so it's kind of like, you know, there are other people who can actually see this. You know, you know, I mean, how lonely would it be if you were just like, look, is everybody just dumb? Is everybody this stupid? Like, you know, it's only when you get other people that say, no, you are correct. You know, and you're, oh, phew, I thought I was the only one. I mean, this joker over here was telling me that replace by fee was a really good idea. No, it's not. Phew. Good. You know, you start to question yourself when you're the only one. But like, luckily, yeah, when like I found, as I've said before, when I was speaking to lots of different people, when I was trying to figure out what Bitcoin was, you know, you listen to everybody, you know, and then eventually you find someone that makes sense, and then you listen to other people, and they're just, oh right, yeah, that they also make sense. And funnily enough, they're all in the same camp. You know, and then you go back to listen to these other people who you couldn't understand because what they were saying didn't make sense to you, you know, and you realise that they're absolute nut jobs. Like literally, like the Winklevoss twins. You know what I mean? Could you believe it? You know, Harvard graduates. You know what? Like, I don't know if they're billionaires. Well, yeah, they'll be billionaires now from Bitcoin. So, you know, I had a movie made about them. Harvard graduates, you know, like billionaires, and even they are stupid. It just goes to show you that there's different forms of intelligence. Like, they've just simply got the ability to read a book and consume it, and then regurgitate the information they've learned, you know, on a bit of paper. You know, but when it comes to actually figuring stuff out, can they do it? No. Crazy, absolutely crazy. All right, we'll just have a quick look on BitInfo charts before we jump into these videos. So for anybody watching the show for the first time, these are all your shitcoins across the top. And you've got various different metrics you can, you know, compare them against on the left-hand side in blue. So we'll look at average transactions per hour, or should we say last 24 hours? Yeah, let's do that one. If you go to log rather than linear, and then 3 years, because Bitcoin changed its tick symbol on the 15th of November 2018. Yeah. So here we go. Look at this. Bitcoin storming ahead. Yeah, and at the moment there is, obviously we're looking at the scaling test network. So yeah, that's Bitcoin. So might leave it there for the trailer. Got a few videos we want to have a look at though. But check this out. So Eileen B also just wrote an article on this for KD ZDNet. Check this out. So she said Bitcoin SV hits new transaction record. The potential for transaction scalability will become very attractive for enterprise as Bitcoin SV hits 9,000 transactions per second. Bitcoin BSV scaling test network hit a new record last week. The network processed over 9,000 transactions per second at one point on Jan 26th, beating its previous record of approximately 6,500 transactions in December 2019. The scaling test network is a project by Bitcoin Association, which is operated by nChain and is aimed at enterprise scalability. The project uses scaling test network nodes in two ways, from mining and listening around the globe. It does this to match the real-world operations as closely as possible to ensure that the transaction numbers seen are from a globally distributed network. The scaling test network is purely a testing network. It allows anyone who wishes to build a solution to test it using Bitcoin SV to see how the solution can scale or test it at levels expected to be seen on the mainnet in the future. The mainnet is the production blockchain network that is used for projects to run on after they have completed testing on the network. The goal of scaling test network is to reflect the mainnet as closely as possible on a larger scale. The mainnet already has this capacity, but currently does not have the transaction volume demanded. A recent beta and upcoming full release of Bitcoin SV Node software 1.0.7 have had a lot of development work to allow long chains. Long chains, the most requested limit removal, have the greatest proof of work invested in them. That doesn't quite make sense. Greatest proof of work invested in them. I mean, proof of work is how long the chain is. And generally mined nodes will always adopt a longer chain over a shorter one. What? Oh, okay, yeah, okay. In terms of like chain splits and double spends and whatnot. The work done improving the software has, in internal testing, shown large improvements to the handling time of long chain transactions. So this here, oh, they've got the wrong address there, but we'll have a Bitcoin scaling.io. Let's have a quick look at that one. Here we go. So that would be Bitcoin with an I. Bitcoin scaling.io. Here we go. Let's have a little looky. Here we go. Yeah, I mean, look at this. Alright, it's biggest block. 2.9 gigabytes. Actually, I worked out it was 3.1. Oh, well, hold on a minute. So, a gigabyte is like they go up in 24s. So it was 3.1. So I think it has to be 3.24. Oh no, it has to be 3.1. Yeah, so maybe 3.124 to be a gigabyte. But anyway, it says 2.9 gigabytes here. So look, any more charts there? Check scaling test network stats. Here we go. So we want biggest block last 24 hours, biggest block total 2.9 gigabytes in comparison to. So this needs to be updated because that's actually a 3.69 on the mainnet. Transactions per second, transactions per month. There should be maybe more stats. Transactions per second watch, capacity, metrics. We'll have a closer look at this another time. Reveal manual steps. Alright. Well, I tell you what though, I mean, I just want to have a go at explaining data sovereignty, which I'm going to do now. So let me just pull up this picture. Oh, see if there's any more of that. Yeah, we were nearly at the end anyway. Here we go. Let's send an image to myself. My lovely images here on my consultancy images or files. Right now we want global Bitcoin. While I'm talking, actually, you know what? We might have a Bitcoin, genuine Bitcoin image. I'll maybe try and explain it that way. But anywho, let me just find these images first of all. Come on. There we go. Got it. Excellent. That'll do. Send that to myself. Enlarge that bad boy. Here we go. So we just looked at the blockchain working live in front of our very eyes. Now, blockchain is just simply the process of how the data is uploaded, because currently data is just simply stored on a corporate server. That's it. You send and corporate servers are linked together. So you are just simply uploading Yeah, well, I mean, they build a platform, yeah, like Facebook, Twitter, whatever, social networks, on their corporate servers, and then you upload all your information to it, which is what they make loads of money from. Now, when you upload your data to their corporate server, they own that data because it is their corporate server. So therefore, they are responsible for it. They own that data. You give it to them, is basically what you're doing. So how can you upload data to a network that isn't centrally controlled by a corporate server? Well, you have to have it distributed. Distributed with those who economically sustain the network competing against each other. And then the way you upload it is basically all the transactions are uploaded in numerical order. It's like a mathematical sum, an infinite mathematical sum. So when the data is uploaded, it becomes part of the sum. So the data is represented by hash numbers, by transaction IDs and things like that. Now you can see those transaction IDs, but you cannot see the data that is actually contained within that transaction. You can only see that the transaction has taken place, and you access it in exactly the same way that you access the internet, except because you uploaded that data, you own that data. You have data sovereignty because no one single entity owns and controls that data. You're not giving it to a single entity. That's the whole point. And this is why it can't be deleted, because no one has the power over it. You have sovereignty over that data. You can choose who can see it and who doesn't, and who you share it with, etc. But even you cannot delete it. But what can happen is obviously, you're going to get criminals on there, uploading naughty things and trying to frame people and stuff like that. So, revenge pictures on couples and all that kind of stuff. Only the Bitcoin blockchain has what they call a double hash function. And a double hash function allows that information to be filtered out. So the information itself cannot be deleted. It cannot be erased. But it can be filtered so that you can see anybody who is trying to access it. And you can also hide it from those who might want to try and find it and access it through this double hash function. So it will always be there, but it just means that nobody else can see it. That's the whole point. And this only exists on the Bitcoin network because actually I'm pretty sure that that's patented. So that's the whole point. Bitcoin is your bridge to the blockchain. You cannot upload that data without paying to have that data uploaded. But this is why transaction fee, this is why microtransactions are so important. Because if data costs an arm and a leg to upload, people are going to be reluctant to use it. But with Bitcoin, the more it scales, the more people use it, the cheaper the uploads become. The more efficient it becomes. Because the more efficient it becomes, the more valuable it becomes. Because the more valuable it is, the more it attracts more and more people to use. And the reason it can attract more and more people to use it is because the medium of exchange that is being used to upload that data increases in value itself. So now you have more people buying it because it's going up in value. And that because it's going up in value, like I said, it can develop a price. It can then be measured against the cost of other goods and services. So you can then use it as a medium of exchange. Like, it is an absolutely phenomenal system. A phenomenal system. So we'll leave it there for the trailer on YouTube. There we go. Right, well, we'll leave it there, folks. Hope you enjoyed the show. So as ever, be aware, take care, stay safe out there. Joy giving. Same time tomorrow. Catch you later. Get your tweet etched on Twitch, forever on the Bitcoin blockchain. Do it today at www.jointwitch.com. BuyBSV.live, the best place to buy Bitcoin SV online. Get paid for your content in Bitcoin and watch the full episode on Streamanity for just 20 cents. Go to www.satoshi.tv. See the link in the description below. Bitcoin, one world, one chain.
Yeah, one vision.